What's up, guys? Heatfireash here, and yes, I am back with another Pokemon video. It's been like 2 months since I really even touched this game, or definitely since I put out a video for Pokemon Sword and Shield. I've been taking a break from it, playing other games like Hearthstone and such, but now the Island of Armor DLC is released. I am back in the swing of things with Pokemon Sword and Shield, so if you enjoy Pokemon videos, there will definitely be more in the future. And this is a team that I've been using. If you didn't know, the Island of Armor Pokemon are not yet available to use in a ranked battle. I believe that's going to be at the end of the month or next month. Don't quote me on that, though. But this is the team I've been using. This is a rental team. I did not create this. This comes from X-Ray's Ovation on Reddit. He posted something about this team, and I thought it looked really fun. And it had RILLABOOM with Grassy Surge, which was not even available last I played. So this team's really fun. We got Primarina with the Saltfest, Dracovish with Choice Scarf, always a good choice. We got Drifblim with the Grassy Seed, combos really nicely with RILLABOOM, getting that Tailwind support and all that. RILLABOOM with Grassy Surge obviously is awesome, and this is actually a fast RILLABOOM, so max speed there, pretty cool. And a Bisharp with Focus Sash and an Arcanine to round things out. I've been having a lot of fun with this team, and yeah, I've got a couple games to show you. What's up, guys? It is the disembodied voice of Heatfireash here, and we are going to be going over these couple games that I played with this RILLABOOM team. The team's been working pretty well for me, and it's honestly a lot of fun. So let's get right into the battle against Adrian. So right off the bat, we see another RILLABOOM from them. So pretty interesting team for sure, though. But not sure what the best option would be. Probably our own RILLABOOM, and Drifblim is probably going to be pretty safe here. Toxicity is something to watch out for, and RILLABOOM does have access to high horsepower, so that's pretty nice. And generally, I think RILLABOOM is just good against their team here. Seems very, very strong. Besides the RILLABOOM and Drifblim here, there's a lot of different options we could go for. I mean, there is not many physical attackers, although Arcanine sometimes is just good enough on its own. It does have access to Snarl as well. I mean, Dracovish is always a solid pick. Just have to be careful of that Toxicity. Bisharp could be half decent, but I think Dracovish is probably just strong. Sometimes if you're down on Pokemon and your last Pokemon is Dracovish, you can just win because of how powerful it is as a standalone Pokemon. So I'm really glad that Dracovish is on the team. We're just going to round out with Arcanine here. Never a bad call. Also deals with their RILLABOOM pretty nicely. Definitely, like, I would say a hard counter to RILLABOOM. Arcanine is very hard to deal with. Sometimes you can outspeed it depending on how it's EV'd and, you know, use high horsepower. But you're going to take major damage from it. Plus, you're going to be intimidated. So never a great look to go up against that. But our opponent here is throwing out RILLABOOM. And we also see Grimmsnarl, who's going to be able to support RILLABOOM pretty well. Stuff like Thunder Wave is really annoying to deal with, but overall I like our chances here. We can go ahead and just go for that Tailwind right away, I think. And actually see the Grassy Seed on RILLABOOM, our opponent's RILLABOOM here. So that's an interesting thing. I guess it makes sense. So probably a tanky RILLABOOM. If they're going with that Grassy Seed on it. So right off the bat, we have a lot of options here, really. I guess we have to decide, do we want RILLABOOM just to go for a Dynamax right off the bat, try to deal some damage? Or maybe we even just want to go ahead and just switch out to something like Arcanine. So Arcanine here, like I said, hard counters RILLABOOM, so pretty good on switching it out. Plus we can just get the Tailwind up. Drifblim is not going to be taken down by anything. And go ahead and get that Intimidate off. Also, if this was by chance a offensive Grimmsnarl, the Intimidate's going to be really detrimental to it. So, and it actually goes for the Sucker Punch here into the RILLABOOM slot. Luckily, we did the switch there, so we get a little bit of information. Tailwind going up. We're going to be able to outspeed everything. And we see a Drain Punch coming out. Not really dealing too much damage to our Arcanine. Arcanine is decently bulky with that Citrus Berry, so We don't have to worry about taking too much damage here, and at this point, it's probably fair to just go for that flamethrower right into Rillaboom. It's going to deal quite a bit of damage to it, and we can hit a Shadow Ball. We could just double up into the Rillaboom here just to try to get the KO, just in case that one flamethrower is not enough. And we do see a Reflect come out. Luckily, this is a special Arcanine, so Reflect is not going to deal too much against that. Shadow Ball hits here. I guess we won't know if Flamethrower was enough, but it looks like it would have been because that Rillaboom took quite a bit of damage. Grassy Seed boosts defense, not special defense, so pretty easy KO there. Like I said, Arcanine, very, very good against Rillaboom. Possible my opponent maybe should have switched out there, but they did not, so we go ahead and go up 4-3 Pokemon right now. Not to mention that Grimmsnarl is still intimidated if it does try to go for another Sucker Punch later on in the game. And Inteleon comes here. Yeah, not really a surprise at all. Obviously, that's going to deal with Arcanine well. So I think switching back into Rillaboom makes a lot of sense. The only thing is if they predict it and they go for like an Ice move, that would be very bad. But I don't think our opponent's going to go for the read here. But actually... choose to go for Dracovish here. That way, we're going to be able to tank up a water move really, really well. And we can get rid of the Grimmsnarl probably in one hit. Unless the Grimmsnarl goes for a Sucker Punch. So, bit of a hit or miss here kind of play. But goes for the Sucker Punch into Drifblim, which is super effective. But we do get the Shadow Ball off into the Inteleon, and that was mainly just to break the Sash of Inteleon if it was running Focus Sash. Getting rid of Sash is really good. As we can see, that Snipe Shot actually did way more, but it was a critical hit there. I was expecting to be a little more tankier because we are resistant to that, but that's okay. We definitely are going to be outspeeding here, so go for the Vicious Rend. Try to take care of that Grimmsnarl if we can, hopefully. Don't want to see like a light screen go up or anything, but we do have to remember Reflect is up, so it's probably unlikely that this is going to KO, especially if he goes for a Sucker Punch here, or just any move, I guess, because it has Prankster. So removing the Inteleon and going for a Duraludon, probably just to try to mess us up a little bit, but failing there the Sucker Punch. And yeah, we only deal half, so if Reflect wasn't up, we probably would have gotten the KO, but it is up, so nothing we can do about that. Now we got to deal with Duraludon, which we cannot really deal with that well. But let's see what our opponent goes for here for this play. We do want to try to get rid of that Grimmsnarl. We don't want to see anything else really come out, and it actually has Fake Tears, which is extremely scary. This means we're basically going down. Luckily, we do get the Tailwind back off. Although Dracovish doesn't really need it with the Choice Scarf, but all of our other mons do, and I did not want the Drifblim to get knocked out. So we actually just barely missed the KO there onto the Grimmsnarl, which really sucks because, as you know, with the Fake Tears, there's no way we are surviving that Duraludon. So we are now tied up 3-3, although that Grimmsnarl is very, very low, really close to dying. But we should be able to go for, honestly, Arcanine and Rillaboom, both of them are pretty good. There could be maybe reasons to wait on Rillaboom to try to save it for the Inteleon. But Arcanine can also, it's not super great against Duraludon, but it's okay. But we can also just spam Snarl if we want and just try to make that Duraludon basically worthless. But we do have to watch out for the Fake Tears here, which I'm definitely scared of seeing Fake Tears come out from that Grimmsnarl. So go ahead into that Snarl. Try to just make that Duraludon do 0 damage. That's kind of the plan right here. Neither one of us has Dynamaxed yet, so we both still have that left. Kind of surprised the Duraludon didn't Dynamax because it's a pretty good mon to Dynamax. But we see the Fake Tears come out here. And yeah, I mean, I pretty much thought that was going to happen. But we get the Shadow Ball off. That's going to take care of Grimmsnarl. No more Fake Tears after this turn, and we can hit that We did not need that crit, by the way. That Grimstar was very low. And we go for Snarl to make that -1, which means effectively he just has a +1 boost. Hopefully we can live one. We should be able to live a Thunderbolt on Arcanine there. So even at +1, still living that. And if we live another, we will have that Citrus Berry recovery, which is going to be helpful. So now last Pokemon here. And that's going to be Inteleon, which of course we still have that Rillaboom in the back. Can deal with that really, really well. So ally switch here to try to keep alive the Arcanine one more turn. And it makes sense just to go for another Snarl. Get -1 on the Inteleon and -2 on Duraludon is going to keep that thing from just dealing any damage. That when I finally bring in the Rillaboom, we're just going to be able to finish off the game. There goes the ally switch, which is a move I've often said is a coin flip, but I don't know why. It feels pretty good on this team. I still wish it wasn't in the game, though, but doesn't really matter here. It is in the game, so we can use it to our advantage. Snarl goes off, just lowering the special attack of both Mons here. Let's see. Did they predict? He actually did get the prediction, which is kind of crazy. Or maybe they didn't predict and he just wanted to get rid of the Drifblim. I don't really know, but either way, Thunderbolt dealing quite a bit of damage to us and paralyzing us, which is really annoying. And all we have left is the Rillaboom. So, yeah, this is coming down to the wire. Obviously, Rillaboom can deal with Inteleon, but still Dynamax available for our opponent. And then also, you know, we don't have much left here. Although we already dealt quite a bit of damage, but we're going to Dynamax. We're going to go for Max Grass. Try to just get rid of the Inteleon, because right now that's kind of the threat. Inteleon can go for Ice Beam, deal major damage to our Rillaboom. Even at -1, it's going to deal pretty nice amount of damage. So we want to try to get rid of Inteleon. Something like a Protect would be not great for us to see on Inteleon. Duraludon, I'm not too scared about. It's at -2 right now. Probably doesn't have anything that can really deal with Rillaboom. It doesn't get Mystic Fire or anything, so all it has is maybe like a Thunderbolt and Flash Cannon, something like that. Let's see what our opponent goes for here. And we are Dynamaxing. We are faster. Or maybe they're just not Dynamaxing. Not sure why they haven't Dynamaxed yet, but don't know what they're waiting for. But we go ahead, get that Rillaboom Dynamax, get that extra HP, and our max moves online. And pretty easy move here. Okay, they are Dynamaxing, and I'm assuming it's going to be Duraludon, because it just kind of makes more sense in my mind. But yep, okay. And it is actually a G-Max Duraludon, and to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what the G-Max move does, but I'm pretty sure just the regular Dynamax is actually better. But it might be situational, I don't really remember. Go for that Max Grass. That's going to easily knock out the Inteleon, who's not known as a tanky Pokemon by any stretch of the imagination. Take a little bit from my Life Orb, but no problem there. Hit the Shadow Ball, just a little bit extra damage. Actually, doing a good bit of chip here. Here comes the Max Steel Strike. And not really dealing anything. Obviously, we have that -2. But it does get the defense boost, which is going to make us not be able to hit quite as hard. But we do have access to Max Ground, which is going to be able to just finish off this Duraludon. That plus Shadow Ball should be plenty. Go for that Max Quake right on Duraludon and Shadow Ball, and this should finish up the game here. No problem. And hopefully this game showed a little bit of what this team can do. And something that I'm learning as well is kind of focusing on switching a little bit more when it is a good play. Like switching out for that Arcanine turn 1 was something I would not have done previously, but sometimes you have to adapt your strategy a little bit, and switching can be very, very useful, especially if you know what you're doing, I guess. But there's the Max Quake, dealing major damage, and here we'll just get the knockout with that Shadow Ball. And we actually went for Tailwind here. I remember when I did this, I thought that Shadow Ball would have actually been better, but I did go for Tailwind because I was afraid of getting outsped. I think Duraludon. Well, I don't really know what kind of Duraludon it is. But we are actually max speed on Rillaboom, so I shouldn't really have had to go for Tailwind there, but that's okay. We're very far ahead anyway, so this is just the end now with 2 attacks on the Duraludon. Nothing crazy to see in battle canceled, and that is game number 1 of the Rillaboom team. Game number 2 up against a team with Cinderace here, which is probably really, really strong. This is kind of the first game I ever played against Cinderace with the hidden ability Libero, so going to be a strong pick for my opponent. But right off the bat, we are going to go with Rillaboom Drifblim, just like the last game. It's such a strong start. Not to mention Rillaboom, we're basically going to need for Mudsdale. Mudsdale's very good. Going to bring Primarina as we need to deal with Hydreigon, and a Fairy move is going to be really, really relevant for us. Beyond that, my opponent has a bunch of support Pokemon, so I'm not sure exactly what I want to bring against them. They basically have 3 attackers and 3 support, although Cutiefly, I only know it as like a speed swap user, so I'm not really sure what else it could be using. Obviously, Clefairy is a very strong support as well as Sableye. So we go with a Dracovish though, because like I said before, Dracovish is such a strong mon on its own. It does not really even need support at all, especially with Choice Scarf. It's just going to hit extremely hard, so it's always a good 4th Pokemon in a lot of cases. But let's see what my opponent leads with here. Sableye and Hydreigon. Okay. So right off the bat, Rillaboom does not do much to Hydreigon. If we went for a Dynamax, there's not a ton of damage we're going to be able to do to it. It has Levitate. Our Dark move's not going to hit it for much. Grass move's not going to hit it for much. So right off the bat, I want to get Rillaboom out of there. Probably go for Primarina. Not to mention Sableye can also go for a Will-O-Wisp and try to burn the Rillaboom, and I don't want that to happen. We're going to need that Rillaboom later for probably Mudsdale, which I assume they probably brought. So we're definitely going to need to keep that Rillaboom alive. So I think the best play is definitely going for Primarina here. It deals with Hydreigon so well. Hydreigon really can't touch Primarina at all. So a pretty good move to just go for that. We are going to have to tank up some, but it has Assault Vest, so whatever Hydreigon does, we can take it up, and then just go ahead and go for that Tailwind so we can get a little bit of speed control in here. And we see a Will-O-Wisp, but actually on the Drifblim here, not where I expected the Will-O-Wisp to go at all. A little bit surprised there. Maybe they thought we were going to switch, or maybe he thought I would go for a ally switch. And there is the Dark Pulse, tanking that up very easily. No problem there. And now my opponent basically has to switch out Hydreigon or it's going to die. So I just go for the Moonblast here. I don't really think there's a reason not to go for Moonblast. If they switch out, it's fine. We're still going to deal some chip damage on something else. And we can go for a Shadow Ball on Sableye, try to break that Focus Sash. And that hopefully next turn we can just get rid of the Sableye altogether. So my opponent does switch out, which is a strong move by them. And Clefairy, which is not expected. But I guess it makes sense. It really is going to tank up this Moonblast, no problem. Shadow Ball coming out into Sableye just to break that Focus Sash. Does not really deal much damage at all. Thought I'd get a little more damage off there, but almost dealing half to the Clefairy, which is very surprising, seeing as how tanky Clefairy is with Eviolite. But I think we're still in a good position here. My opponent really has no attackers out, so I'm not really threatened by anything. I can probably just go for Hyper Voice here and just kind of deal some spread damage and just... I can just spam Shadow Ball, I guess. There's nothing else I really need to do. My opponent, this is almost like a stall tactic a little bit, but I feel like I'm definitely like in the driver's seat, right? My opponent has to switch out if they want to do anything meaningful here. So we see another Will-O-Wisp. I'm not really worried about it. It's not, I don't care about attack on Primarina. We're a special attacker, so it's just going to be a little bit of damage, but we have the grassy terrain to heal back as well, so Not really doing much. Just missed the KO on Sableye there, which is really annoying because it means now it's going to heal with this life dew. So, yeah, definitely not what I was hoping for. Just barely missing that KO. But, like I said, there's still no attackers on their side. So whatever they switch in is going to get hit. It's definitely going to take some damage. But, man, that Sableye is a little bit tankier than I thought at first. Healing up quite a bit of health there. And obviously it is Prankster, so I always have to deal with the priority of that Pokemon. But I think we just hit Hyper Voice again, which of course with Primarina is going to be a water move. Very nice spread water move with Stab. So deals a bit, just not enough to deal with that Sableye last time. I Protect on Clefairy, which, okay, and a Recover, which at this point I'm like, wow, this is just a super stall tactic. Clefairy with Protect is not, I just wouldn't have expected that, seeing as how much of a supportive type Pokemon it is. Keeping Clefairy alive doesn't really seem that relevant to me, but Friend Guard obviously putting in a ton of work here. As you can see, we just missed the KO on that Sableye again. Yeah, Friend Guard is just really getting to work here. And now I'm in the position where I can just keep going for like another Recover Life Dew. And I still might not be able to get the KO. So as you can see, this is definitely a stall team after getting this far in the game. Hence the Clefairy and Sableye going for the burns. But actually that grassy terrain I think is helping me just as much. I mean, I did barely miss some KOs here, but the fact that I'm healing through the burn makes stall much harder for my opponent to work. But throwing in a Cinderace here, which, I mean, Cinderace I think is very, very strong right now. That Libero ability, pretty much similar to Greninja. I think it works almost exactly the same. And we know that Greninja is pretty nuts, at least in my opinion. So getting some damage here and not even enough to one-hit that Cinderace, which is crazy. But that's Clefairy. That's the Friend Guard ability. That is exactly what it's there for. But we do deal a lot of damage anyway. The thing is, Cinderace is very fast, and I have a feeling Tailwind might be up at this point. And Primarina is not going to be outspeeding that. Definitely not. Primarina is not very fast, but we can go for another Hyper Voice anyway. And yes, we're going to get Tailwind back up. I don't think Cinderace has anything that can really deal with Primarina. It could have a Steel move, I guess. So actually, a Steel move might be enough to KO us. We're not at full HP, and it will have Stab on that Steel move. So yeah, Cinderace going for Dynamax here. I think we're probably going to get knocked out, because I think it does get a Steel move. I'm not completely sure what Cinderace can learn, but Steel move seems about right. But let's see if we end up getting our attack off first. Go for that Tailwind, and we should outspeed it, I believe. But let's see. Cinderace is very fast. No, Cinderace is actually outspeeding us, even with Tailwind. Cinderace is so fast. But they went for it right into the Drifblim. They did not go for a Steel move. And basically our Primarina is just going to get a straight up knockout here with that Hyper Voice. And no, we don't get the knockout. We actually just barely miss again. Very, very surprised that we missed on the Cinderace there. Not really usually being a tanky Pokemon, but honestly, that's the Clefairy. Clefairy has put in so much work this game, and it's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts. So we're gonna double attack here. We're definitely just double attacking. And there's the Follow Me. So that's why I got to keep going for the spread move, because Follow Me at any time from Clefairy is going to be a problem. So this should be enough to knock out the Clefairy, I believe. No, it is not. Hopefully with the Hyper Voice it will be. Now they go for the Max Steel Spikes. So they did have it. And this is just going to be a straight up knockout on our Primarina here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, unfortunately, Primarina is more of a special defense tank. And now things are not looking that great. Except for one thing, and that is our boy Dracovish, who, with Tailwind and a Choice Scarf, is definitely going to outspeed that Cinderace. And although usually Dracovish doesn't need too much support, having the Tailwind here is very key. So beyond something like a Max Guard, we're going to be able to knock it out. The only problem is that Clefairy can go for Follow Me. So we might have to go for something else here, but we can go ahead and try to knock it out. And this kind of depends on whether Drifblim is faster than Clefairy. Or faster than Dracovish, I should say. But we can just double attack here. We can also go for Ally Switch. Try to protect this Dracovish. There's our Ally Switch. Did it go for Follow Me? Yes, Follow Me. So Clefairy will get knocked out here no matter what. Obviously, it's very low, but these Pokemon have been so resilient this entire game. And I really think it comes down to that Friend Guard ability. Max Knuckle. Wow. That was such a good Ally Switch. Unaffected. Unfortunately, the burn gets us in the end. But that's really okay. We throw in Rillaboom here. Obviously, we're under threat here. But Dracovish, super strong against the Cinderace. Sableye is honestly a threat because it has Prankster, so it can just go for another Will-O-Wisp, which is not what I want to see. Will-O-Wisp on Rillaboom is gonna really hurt. But we are gonna Dynamax, and we should be able to knock something out here. We should even be able to survive a Cinderace Fire move with Rillaboom if we are Dynamaxed. So let's go ahead and just try to take out the Sableye and Fishious Rend the Cinderace here. They could, I assume we're going to be seeing Will-O-Wisp come out from Sableye. It's obviously good on either target. On my side, which is really why I wanted to get rid of that Sableye earlier, and it just, man, a couple times it just lived by like almost 1 HP. But Dynamax coming out here, and this should just be the KO, although Cinderace is faster. So, yeah, and obviously we actually avoid the Will-O-Wisp, which is nuts. But we do get the Fishious Rend out. Just go ahead and knock out the Cinderace. Max Overgrowth, knock out the Sableye, and now the game is basically over. We only have that Hydreigon left, and we got two Pokemon ready to go. And Dracovish, even with Hydreigon, is going to resist that Fishious Rend. We can still just deal a ton of damage. Dracovish deals so much damage regardless, really just regardless of resistance and all of that. Don't really have to worry too much about it. And Dynamax Rillaboom, although we can't really deal a lot of damage to Hydreigon with it, we're also not threatened too much, unless it has Flamethrower, which it could have. But I don't really see this game going any longer. I just see us winning this one, which is pretty sweet. Go ahead, hit the Hydreigon there. Double attack into it, and the battle canceled. Game over. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you want to see more Pokemon content and hopefully some Isle of Armor content soon, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel so that you can stay up to date to all my latest content. And I'll catch you in the next one.